Let me see, I'll take a volunteer, someone I haven't heard from yet, who thinks they can tell us. I saw most people saying a thumbs up for this one. Why? Let's see, Ava?
I think it's more than a whole because 4 plus 3 is 7, and 7 6 is more than 1 whole.
So are you using your knowledge of 4 plus 3 of whole numbers equals 7 to help you know that 4/6 and 3/6 is 7/6? Is that what you're saying? Is that correct? Okay. And you're saying that that is more than 1 whole. Show her if you agree with her, disagree. A lot of people agree. Because 1 whole would be what when we're talking about 6? 6 6 and 7 6 is 1. How many more 6s is it?
1 6.
1 6 more. Okay, let's do one last one. Then we'll move on to a big problem for today. Let's see. Oh, this is a fun one. Try to get a little tricky on it. Remember, your thumbs up or your thumbs down? More than a whole, less than a whole. Where are you at? What do you think? I guess on this one, if you're not sure, that's okay. Turn and whisper to a friend. Why is it more or Wrap up in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. So I'll use this to get your attention back. Thank you for turning your voices off, putting your attention back on. Holden, what were you thinking?
I was thinking that if you got a 1 plus 1 is 2.
Just start by telling us if you think it's more than a whole or less than a whole.
I think it's less.
You think it's less. Look at your friends, see if they agree. Well, I'm seeing a lot of friends agree. Okay, tell us why you think that. Why is it less?
Because I think that that it doesn't work because the bottom has to be the same. It has to be the same.
Okay.
Yeah. They have to both be the
So
same.
you don't think we can do this?
No.
But you think it's less than a whole?
I think you should change the 2 to a 4.
Ah, so you're saying you have to think of an equivalent fraction?
And then you add those together and then you get
So I just change this to a 4?
Yes.
Like this?
Yes. Yes.
Just like that?
Yes.
Agree, disagree? Ooh, some people are disagreeing with that one. So you said I'm changing 1/2 into 1/4?
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
You're disagreeing, Mary Beth, why?
Because 1/2, you have to, 2/4 would fit into 1/2. So only 1/4, there's still be 1/4 left. You put in 1/4.
What do you think, Holden?
I think she's right.
So, okay, so do you want to change this?
Yeah.
To
2 again.
2/4? Is that what you want?
No, I want 1/2. 1/2 plus 1.
So, can you say what you said again, please?
You'd have to
Listen
change
carefully.
the 1/4 into 2/4 because 1/4, there'd be 1/4 missing if you put in 1/4 into 1/2. So you'd have to put 2/4 plus 1/4.
What do you think,
Now I
Holden?
get, and now I know. Okay, so you change that one to the 4 to a 2.
This number here, 2, 2? This part of the fraction?
Yes.
So this should be 2/4.
2/4.
So 1/2 is the same as 2/4.
Yes.
Because then if I think of 2/4 and 1/4, I can add those together and it's how much?
It's 3/4. Yes.
And is that less than whole?
Yes.
Because how far away from a whole is it?
1/4.
1/4. Okay. Good thinking. Mary Beth, did Mary Beth's thinking help you, Holden? Think about that. Great. All right, so here's what we're going to do. I'm going to move this over so you can see, first of all. Hopefully that will stay on there. Good. I'm going to ask you, I'm gonna read you a story, a math story. And yeah, it's not that kind of story. It's a math story. It's gonna be short and sweet. I want you to think in your head about this story. I want you to be able to put it into your words. And I'm gonna tell you up front that I'm not going to tell you the question I'm gonna ask. I'm gonna cover the question. So will you be able to answer this problem?
Maybe.
Not at first, you're just gonna know the story. I want you to think of the questions. I'm gonna actually elicit from you, I'm gonna gather from you all sorts of different questions we could ask about my math story. But I first wanna make sure you understand what the story is. Then, once I've gotten a bunch of your questions, then I'm gonna reveal my question and you'll have to answer my question first. And if you have time, you'll be able to go answer some of your questions. Make sense? All right, so let me read this and then I'll put it up under the document camera for you to see and read along. So the first time I'm just gonna read it through, right? So my friend Jill, I actually have a sister-in-law whose name is Jill. Jill walked her dog 3/10 of a mile on Saturday and 4/10 of a mile on Sunday. That's the story. Let me read it one more time to you. Put it up here so you can see and read along if you want to. And I learned how to do this time. So that's kind of fun. Okay, Jill walked her dog. Give me a thumbs up if you have a dog.
I have 4
Ooh,
dogs.
tell me. A lot of people have dogs. So Jill walked her dog 3/10 of a mile on Saturday and 4/10 of a mile on Sunday. I want you to turn and whisper to a friend, tell them my story in your words. Wrap up in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Who thinks they can put this story in their words? Let's see, I haven't heard from this friend over here. I can't see her. Shabnam?
Yeah.
Did I say that right? Okay. So nice and loud so your friends can hear.
So,
You're gonna just say it in your words.
okay, so Jill walked her dog 3/10 of a mile on Saturday and 4/10 of a mile on Sunday.
Okay,
So,
give her some feedback. Do you agree with her? Did she get that story? Or do you disagree? Can you not hear? Couldn't hear? Can you say it nice and loud again? Some friends are having a hard time hearing.
So Jill walked her dog 3/10 of a mile on Saturday and 4/10 of a mile on Sunday.
All right, give her some feedback. Did she get that story? She did a good job retelling that story. Did you have a question you were thinking in your head of what it might be? What might be the question all I'm gonna ask you?
How much miles did she walk her dog?
Was anybody else thinking that? How many miles did she walk her dog? A lot of people were thinking that. Okay, I'm gonna report that up here. How many miles did she walk her dog? Anybody have any other questions? Let's see, I can't see your name way back there.
Danielle.
Danielle, what question were you thinking, Danielle?
I was thinking, how many more miles did Jill walk her dog on Sunday?
Oh, how much, so you're saying you know on Saturday she walked further? Was it Saturday or Sunday?
Sunday.
Sunday. So you're saying how much further did she walk on Sunday? Is that what you were thinking? Somebody else thinking that question? Wow, Danielle's really thinking hard. How much, and this is where my English background does not serve me well. Further or farther? Is it further? Further, okay, thank you. How much further, I want to be modeling good English. How much further did Jill and her dog walk on Sunday? Okay. I'm wondering if there are any other questions you're thinking about. Maisie has one, sorry, Lisa.
So I know that 3/10 plus 4/10 equals 7/10, and I know that 10/10 is a whole. So I was thinking, how much more would it equal a whole when you have 7/10?
How much further does she need to walk to go a whole mile? Is that what you're thinking? Was anybody else thinking of that question? Show her if you were also thinking of that question. How much further does Jill need to walk to go? I'm gonna put blank mile, because it could be how much further for her to go 2 miles, how much further for her to go 5 miles, right? You could insert any number there. Interesting, yeah. How long for her to walk 15,000 miles? If you want to figure out that one, Holden, that will be a fun
I
one.
want to go that fast.
That's a lot, that's a lot. Okay, any other questions anyone have? Henry?
How much is the dog's amount and Jill's amount combined?
Jill.
Ooh.
Jill.
Did anybody else think of that question?
Oh, yeah.
Can everybody understand what Henry said?
Yeah.
Let me see if I got you, Henry. So you're saying if you add together the amount of miles that Jill walks and the amount of miles the dog walks, how much is that all together? Oh, that's a question I did
I know
not think
what
about.
it is.
How far did Jill and her dog walk if you combine their distances? Does that capture it? Okay. That's a really great question. I'm going to do this, 4th graders, because then I'm going to reveal my question. I'm going to put this right here, because I know there's other questions. I'm going to put a question mark right here, and that means you can come up with whatever question was in your head, or you might think of a new one. I'm kind of wondering, like, where is Jill walking? Is she actually going anywhere, or is she just kind of going in a loop? I'm wondering.
He's like.
Does she drive somewhere and then walk? Like I sometimes drive to the causeway. Does anybody go out there? So it could be, I'm wondering. All right, this is what I've learned, 4th graders, is that you guys are really excited about your questions. So I'm gonna hide those because I want you to answer my question. So I'm gonna hide
What's your
those.
question?
Well, I'm gonna reveal it in just a moment. But I know if I don't hide your questions, you'll try to answer your questions before my question. So you need to answer my question first, and then if you show me the work and you think you're all done, you've done a great job, and you've justified, and you've used different strategies, then I'll pull this down and you can answer your questions. Deal? Okay. So here's my question. No one thought of my question. My question is, Jill walked her dog 3/10 of a mile on Saturday and 4/10 of a mile on Sunday. Is the total distance Jill walked her dog on Saturday and Sunday closest to 1/2 of a mile or 1 whole mile? Explain your thinking using pictures, numbers, words. Do not yell out, do not tell anyone. This is your own private thinking. I'm gonna read it one last time and then you're gonna go get to work at your spot. But this is your own private thinking. So this should be not looking at other people's work. This is worrying about what you're doing, what you're thinking. So Jill walked her dog 3/10 of a mile on Saturday, 4/10 of a mile on Sunday. Is the total distance closer to 1/2 of a mile or 1 whole mile? Ooh, don't say anything. Ready? Do we have paper passers here?